we shot on back. His line was, oh, hello, I'm for the camera. And his line was, oh, well, there's a shadow on the lungs.
Yeah.
I know, immediately, this blood cancer, Johnny. Yeah. Just like that, bing, done.
Yeah.
You know, it's obvious what the problem was.
Yeah.
Well, it ought to have been obvious to bloody Beale.
Well, surely
months before.
Well, especially if you're presented with somebody who is a heavy smoker, who's been smoking. I mean, it must be the first.
What's the first question you asked?
Do you smoke?
Yeah.
I mean,
the chairman of the Westbury Heritage Society. Right. And Liz?
I'm the secretary.
Of the Westbury Heritage Society.
Liz is the secretary.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're both as concerned about the hospital. Are we?
Carry on.
We're both concerned about the hospital and what is going to happen on that site and what is going to happen to the facilities which the Westbury Cottage Hospital has presented the town with over the past years, or the past decades. At this point in time, there would appear to be a government drive towards the preservation and redevelopment of the cottage hospital system. One only needs to go to places like the RUH to realise that they are very pushed for facilities. They're overcrowded with elderly people, particularly. The elderly population is rising steadily, as are elderly people's infirmities of one kind or another. In this scenario, the facilities in this area consist of Trowbridge, primarily, and Warminster, primarily. So people from this area have to go to Warminster, if they're lucky, if there's a place there, or to Trowbridge. They may well finish up in Chippenham. They could equally well finish up in Marlborough. People from this area who are elderly and really infirm have finished up in the hospital at Marlborough. When in Westbury there's a perfectly good facility. If you compare the quality of the facility in Westbury with Trowbridge and with Warminster, I think it could be argued that it was at least equal, if not very much superior. If you go to the hospital in Warminster, you find that the wards there, it's called Longleat Ward, is actually upstairs. You've got to make access through the stairs or through a lift. Whereas in Westbury, you've got the ground floor facility. You've got beautiful surroundings, you've got plenty of fresh air, etc., etc., etc. So in Westbury, at this point in time, or up until recently, we had got a really good facility, which would reduce the pressures on the other facilities and be much more convenient locally. It would seem to me that if you wanted to close a hospital and maintain some facility, the hospitals to close would be Warminster and Trowbridge, and develop the one in Westbury where there's ample room for extension and development.
And could I also add that the hospital in Westbury has had quite a lot of more recent rooms added. It's got the day rooms that were paid for by the League of Friends.
Yes, that's correct.
Which are reasonably modern facilities, and also the site has much more scope for parking than either Warminster or Trowbridge.
Put together, the facilities for parking in both of those are pathetically poor, whereas here there's huge parking facilities. But in that hospital, when it was functioning, there was an excellent X-ray service. At the moment, there's one at the local doctor's surgery, which is working sometimes and not others, it would appear. There was a really good physiotherapy service. There was a very good day surgery facility. There was also an extremely good emergency dental service up there. So that hospital building provided this area with huge facilities. All of those were closed. Part of the reason why they were closed was that the local GPs were not interested in it. They wanted to have their own facility on a greenfield site rather than develop the facility which was already there, thereby depriving the town of a huge range of quality facilities which could have been developed and should have been developed. It's ludicrous, isn't it? It's ludicrous.
When you think Warminster's got a hospital, Trowbridge has got a hospital, has Melksham still got a hospital?
I'm not sure whether that's gone or not.
Bradford one?
It did have one. Bradford's gone.
Oh, Bradford's gone.
Yeah, that's an old people's home.
Have you seen? Have you ever seen the hospital in Frome? It is very modern and wonderful.
Of course, that's in Somerset. This is not Wiltshire.
No, it's
rather
supposed
than
to have
building.
a national health service, not a county health service.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So what would you say to the planners that to try and influence them on? I'm told there is a plan going in shortly to demolish the hospital and build 72 homes, approximately 72 homes on that site. What would you say to the Wiltshire planners?
72 homes on that site is going to create an awful lot of traffic on a very narrow road. That's the first point I made. How many cars are we talking about going in and out on a regular basis? And you have a solidly built facility with modern additions, which up until fairly recently has been considered to be perfectly adequate for the needs of the town, which I think could be used by the town again.
I would agree. I would also suggest that what the planners ought to be doing is looking at the population statistics of the area and looking at the proportion of elderly people in the area, particularly elderly people, and also their needs. We are told that the population of elderly people is rising rapidly. We're also told that as people live longer, their degree of infirmity gets more, and they're subjected to more and more diseases and illnesses of old age. So not only is the population, the client population, if you want to use that sort of phrase, rising, but the needs of those clients is also rising. But the facilities to deal with them is frozen. And in fact, not only is it frozen, with the removal of Westbury, it's actually being reduced. So the population is going up, the demand is going up, but the service is reduced. Now, is that logical? So I would suggest that the planners look at the population figures, the status of those people, and then work out what their needs are likely to be, and then wonder how they're going to provide them.
It's also worth noticing that we get a lot of people coming into the Heritage Centre who are relocating to Westbury, and they are often in the late middle age bracket.
Having argued the case, I think the case of the elderly is inarguable. It's quite clear where we are with the elderly chunk. But we also need to remember that the younger generation is also increasing in size. The number of kids is also increasing. So if you take it that the elderly people with needs are rising, we've also got a tranche of young people coming in whose numbers are also going up. And surprise, surprise, they're going to have needs as well. So the whole service is going to be swamped. And indeed, some of us would argue the whole service is probably swamped where we are now. So heaven knows what it's going to be if the facilities which we could have are in fact removed. So whilst emphasising the elderly bit, we ought not to forget the young bit, who also have needs and require facilities which are not available.